Hi guys, Sony lent me the newly released 15mm f1.4 for their APS-C line, and I'm going to say it right now, this is the best lens I have ever used for the APS-C system for Sony. It is not the best value lens, but it is definitely the best lens. Let's talk about it. Now right away, to address the elephant in the room, the Sigma 16mm f1.4 has been out for years and is absolutely my favorite lens that I used up to this point for the Sony APS-C system, also the Micro Four Thirds system. I love it for that as well. And I will be doing a head-to-head comparison between the Sigma and this lens, and spoiler alert, the Sigma holds up very, very well in terms of quality, but this Sony lens offers a few things that Sigma lens simply can't offer. Now at $748, which is what this lens comes in at, and the Sigma you can often get for about $350, is that price jump worth it to you? For some people, the answer will be yes. That's the loudest bird in the world. And this right here is one of the features that the Sigma cannot compete with, and that is the size and weight of this lens. I am using my Zhiyun Crane M2S, I think that's how you pronounce it. It is my smallest and lightest weight gimbal, and I cannot believe that I am using it with a 15mm 1.4 lens, along with an ND filter that needs step-up rings to get to the ND filter, and my wireless microphone pack, all on this tiny little gimbal that balanced well. And now I'm walking and vlogging my gorgeous face in the park. This blows me away. Blows me away. It's got an aperture ring that you can click or de-click. You want it smooth for video, you can do that. You want it clicky like I love it, you just switch the switch. You have an autofocus, the manual focus switch as well, and a focus hold button, and the lens feels fantastic. This is a lot more like a G Master lens than anything I have ever used for the APS-C system. Now what do you do with the G Master lens? You put that in the studio. Let's go to the studio and check this guy out. We're back in the very professional studio, and I've got a surprise. Little Harvey is on the tripod over there. I gave Doug the ZV-E10 a rest. He's been doing a lot of work this week, and a lot of people are actually going to be using this lens on an A7 IV because in 60p it crops into APS-C mode anyway, so why not get a 1.4 lightweight lens? I use the Sigma 16mm f1.4 on the A7 IV all the time, so I figured, hey, why not? Plus we'll do the S-Log 3, the Slog 3 in 10-bit. Let's talk a little bit more about what the 15 has to offer, and one of the things it has to offer better than almost anything I've ever seen is the autofocus. The autofocus combined with the ZV-E10 or the A7 IV has just been flawless. Absolutely, in photos and in video, it lightning fast, never misses, absolute perfection, including in extreme low lights. I did a low light test, and because it's an f1.4, then I couldn't get it dark enough. I was standing in my backyard in the dark. All the lights were off, and it was still holding focus, maxed out at 32,000 ISO on my ZV-E10, not the A7 IV, the ZV-E10, and it still looked great. The picture looked great. To me, it was still quite usable. I mean, you're going to see grain and noise and things like that. It was dark outside, but it was still holding focus on my face, and that's just amazing. Side note, the Sigma did that as well, so wait for that review. It takes great photos, nice contrast, good color rendition. The chromatic aberration is extremely well controlled. The loca, the longitudinal chromatic aberration, also well controlled. Flares are good, and when your subject is backlit, that is also good, nice contrast. There is a little bit of flaring. It's not the best flare control I have ever seen, but it is plenty good. Just an excellent all-around lens. As a lot of you know who watch this channel, I use this type of focal length in my studio on the ZV-E10. I'll use the Sigma 16mm, and then I will usually punch in with the active stabilization. That gives me more of a field of view of a full frame equivalent of around 35 millimeters after you factor in all of the crop factors, and I kind of like that for this studio space. So what are the negatives? There's always some negative Nancy's, you know, some Debbie Downers. I'll tell you the negatives about this guy. No optical stabilization, no lens stabilization. So if that was there, that would be really helpful. I mean, right now I'm running it on a small gimbal, so it doesn't matter much. But if I was to use this on the ZV-E10, I'd have to use it on active crop, and the E-stabilization that crops in 40%, and then this focal length would be way too tight to vlog in my opinion. So you definitely have to use Catalyst Browse. So to have a little OSS in there would have been nice. Also, there's a small amount of vignetting if you're against a really bright background and you're at wide open at 1.4, you're going to see a little vignetting. I found that to be pretty consistent among most of the mirrorless lenses. Some are worse than others. This one is kind of, it's a fair performer in that regard. End of criticisms. That is literally it. I have nothing else to say about this lens that could be remotely negative. So just to show you here, this is active stabilization. I still have it positioned on the gimbal here, but holding it at arm's length, this is what you're going to be faced with. To me, that's too tight to vlog. So what I usually do when I'm using the Sigma, for instance, I'll use a little tripod that has an extender pole, like a little Ulanzi tripod, and I hold it out a bit further so that, you know, you can see the world a little bit and it doesn't strain your shoulder too much. I mean, my shoulders can take it, but you know, you people, right? I actually have nothing to say right now. I'm just so overjoyed that I get to use this gimbal and this camera lens combo that just doing another segment. You guys like sports? Hockey. That's what we watch up here in Canada. Finals are, they're okay so far. You guys into cricket? So once again, thanks to Sony for sending this guy out. It is not cheap, but for a lot of people, that price tag is going to be worth it. And if I didn't have the Sigma 16mm right now, I would 100% buy this on the spot. I just already have such a good performing lens, and I still might get this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Give me the old thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.